the Tauri AT03. Pretty fitting that really, as it's kind of our third Formula 1 car to be revealed this launch season. Questioning whether we should count the Haas or not aside, the real question is, as it's Valentine's Day, will we fall in love with the AT03? Let's check out some of its features and then I'll let you decide. First up, let's just appreciate for a moment that we've now seen 4 cars, and whilst the Haas renders are of the car in an earlier stage of development, each of them have offered something slightly different. This is a testament to the collective design ingenuity in the Formula 1 community. I mean, after all, each of them have the same very constrained set of regulations to work with, yet they've been able to find different approaches and perhaps some of their own pockets of performance. Starting out up front, it's quite obvious that the AT03 features a longer nose assembly than we've seen elsewhere, with all 4 of the front wing elements connected to its body. The front wing shown in these images, however, is somewhat of a placeholder if you ask me, and so I'm not really going to dive in too deeply, as I suspect we'll see something very different when the car hits the track in Barcelona. And to be honest, this can kind of be considered the case for the entire car, as whilst we can get a good idea of the general layout, there's plenty of details missing or being illustrated in a way that's deliberately misguiding us. So aside from the nose and the front wing, let's have a look at another area of the car that should be representative when we actually see the real thing. In that respect, the AT03 side pods have the same general DNA as what we've already seen from Aston Martin with their AMR22. Both have box-shaped inlets, and the main bodywork is laid out in order that it covers the reclined radiators, intercoolers and electronics within, and in both cases it provides a large undercut at the front of the side pod. However, where AlphaTauri's design differs quite dramatically is that the pods then droop down to the floor around the diffuser kick line in order to drive flow into the Coke bottle region. For me, it's a design that immediately brings back memories of 2013, when Red Bull and Adrian Newey spent months trying to refine the RB9's side pods in order to better utilise the Coanda effect with their blown exhaust. Meanwhile, Sauber also tried to make a ramp design work, but they ended up with the Coanda pod design that McLaren had introduced earlier in the season. And for those out there that's memories don't reach quite so far back, we've also got the B-spec side pod package that was brought to the Racing Point RP20. That also had a similar ramp section, but theirs joined the floor much earlier owing to the more upright rads and intercooler inside. Anyway, we've kind of got a bit off topic here, let's get back to the AT03. Just above the Coke bottle region, you can also find a high-mounted cooling outlet. This is a design we've kind of become accustomed to over the last few years, and results in the team having enough cooling that they don't require the cooling gills that are present on the upper surface of the AMR22 side pods. Now that's not to say we won't see some supplementary gills at some point when excessive temperatures demand it. It's also worth noting that the layout chosen by AlphaTauri is partly dictated by their cooling strategy, as the team have employed a centerline cooling arrangement for a number of years now, with a large cooler usually mounted above the power unit in sort of a saddle configuration. Moving back to the side pod shape and seeing as it tapers down to meet the floor, this also creates a division between it and the outer edge of the floor, with a sort of footplate section created outboard of that. And oddly enough, that ends quite a way away from the front of the rear tyre. I say it's odd because during the previous generation of cars, the teams would try and get the floor as close as possible to the tyre. Now if we scoot round to the back of the car, aside from actually having a shot of the rear of the car, unlike some of the other teams, there's not too much to learn from this image. And I'm quite sure we'll see plenty of changes from this render to the actual car when it's revealed. The beam wing, diffuser design and suspension layout lack the kind of detail you'd expect, and so I don't think we can really read too much into any of those. One takeaway that we do have from this image is the small vortex generators on the central portion of the diffuser ramp appear to have been retained, as the team look to balance performance as a diffuser ramps up towards the crash structure. All in all, it's good to see some more variation in the design of these 2022 cars. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you've enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to smash that like button and gently nudge the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. In the meantime, I'll see you soon, fellow F1 nerds.